This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Perawati, Nick Perawati on a Thursday. We get to talk to LCCC coaches. We'll be talking men's soccer. We'll be talking volleyball coming up in our program. Being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. It's back. The Sierra Chicken is back for your enjoyment over at Taco John's of Cheyenne. Again, Southsiders, you know they're rebuilding that South Greeley location. So, again, you can always enjoy Taco John's Eats from the food truck, which, again, is located in the parking lot of the Outlaw Saloon. Kia of Cheyenne, another one of our great sponsors over in Nation Way. Take a test drive of one of the many great Kias on the lot from the Kia family. At this time of year, you'll find special pricing always because they need to unload them. 20s are coming, including right now you'll see that 2020 Kia Telluride. What a great SUV that AJ has for you over at Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Banking done the old-fashioned way, done the high-technology way. And again, everything in between. 2 locations for you. You'll find Rick and the crew over on Nation Way and the east side location right there at the corner of College and Pershing. Chick-fil-A, 3 squares served up Monday through Saturday from our good friends Ray and Cindy and the entire crew. Located directly across from Powers Field and Menards at the corner of Windmill and Delrange. Featured for you during the summer, and they have been both home runs. The Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich, and the Strawberry Passion Tea Lemonade. Just think about it. Take it into consideration for dinner tonight over at Chick-fil-A of Cheyenne, Windmill, and Delrange. Medicap Pharmacy, for all your pharmaceutical needs. See Gene and the great staff over on Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Shop inside Monday through Saturday. Use the convenient drive-thru Monday through Saturday as well. Medicap Pharmacy. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. The Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. The Auto Body Shop over on Dunn Avenue, founded by Dick Lennox a quarter century ago. Tradition carried on by his daughter Heather, and it hasn't missed a beat. Again, the service, fantastic. The job they do on your vehicles, excellent. I would think Nick will agree with me on that. First Tier Bank over at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Again, great CD rates right now. 27-month CD, 3.1 annual percentage yield. So check out the rates over at First Tier Bank. Again, banking done the old-fashioned way Monday through Friday. Mondello's Pizzeria right across the street. 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D, the Greenway Commons. Paisan cuisine at its best. Not corporate. It's home-style cooking. Family recipes from Joe Mondello and his family. And again, they're open 7 days a week for delicious Paisan cuisine. Check out everything on the menu, from pizza all the way to the delicious sandwiches. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. And we get things underway. Scoreboard time is brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go to Nick.
On the local baseball side with Cheyenne Post 6 and the Cheyenne Mustangs, we'll start with Post 6 Sixers competing right now in the Gay Panda Tournament, happening down in Fort Collins, Colorado. Earlier this morning, taking on the Hawaii squad, got that victory 8-0 for Cheyenne Post 6, and they are currently underway right now, taking on Grandview High School, where top of the second, Grandview does lead 4-0 over the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers. So with the win today, however, for Cheyenne Post 6, they are 49-18 overall. For Cheyenne Mustangs, they are competing right now in the Colorado State Tourney. Earlier this morning, they were down in Greeley, Colorado, as they will continue to be Greeley, at least this weekend. Taking on the Rough Riders team, they unfortunately lost 11-3 earlier today, and right now they are taking on Legacy High School, so hopefully we'll keep you updated on that score. But with the lone loss for today for the Cheyenne Mustangs, they fall to 21-23 overall.
We go to the Major League Baseball scoreboard. They are doing a makeup game as it was postponed last night. Yankees and the Rays in the Bronx, end of 2, and the Yanks and the Rays are knotted up at 2 apiece. Final in from some matinee performances, the Marlins have defeated the Padres 4-3. Phillies over the Dodgers 7-6 in Philadelphia. The Red Sox at Fenway 5-0 blank job of the Blue Jays. And the Royals at Kauffman Stadium have defeated the White Sox 6-5. Getting underway in the 5 o'clock hour, Rays and the Yankees, part of that day-night doubleheader. It will be the Indians and the Tigers hooking up at Progressive Field. Cardinals and Reds at Great American Ballpark this evening. Nats and the Bravos at SunTrust Park in Cumberland, Georgia. 6 o'clock hour, we have the Athletics taking on the Twins at Target Field. 7 o'clock, it will be the Astros and the Angels again at Angel Stadium, Anaheim. Brewers and the Diamondbacks at Chase Field around 7:40. And the Giants, after sweeping the Rockies 4 straight, they're back home at, correct me if I'm wrong, Oracle Park, as they will play host to the New York Mets.
What was that for?
Because I keep forgetting how many. They've had that name changed 18 times already. Anyway, it's Noah Syndergaard towing the rubber for the Mets. Mad Bum, still a Giant, will be on the hill for San Francisco. Our scoreboard.
And hold on before you go on, at least the score update, as I finally got passed along my way for Cheyenne Mustangs, who are again in action right now against Legacy High School in Greeley. They are leading right now, top of the 5th. Mustangs are up 9-5. However, bases are loaded, 1 out for Legacy High School.
And they'll hit into a double play, 6-4-3, and we'll call it good. All right, anyway, Syndergaard, Mad Bum, tonight for the Giants in San Francisco. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find the store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range. First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
To celebrate Taco John's 50th anniversary, our famous Sierra Chicken Sandwich is back. With grilled chicken and original Sierra sauce wrapped in a warm flatbread, the Sierra Chicken Sandwich is better than ever. Plus, we're giving you a chance to win $50,000, free food, and other great prizes with any medium or large drink purchase. 1 in 3 cups is a winner. Enter the code on the cup to see if you've won $50,000, free food, or other great prizes. The more you play, the more you win. Ole the day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be sunny with highs around 93 and winds out the southwest at 15 to 20 miles per hour. For tonight, it'll be clear skies with lows around 58. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 93. And on Friday night, it'll be clear skies with lows around 57.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today for Thursday afternoon. Larry Proetti along with Nick Proetti. You know, we've been begging this guy to come on. You know, we had him on one of our basketball games here about a year and a half. So we begged this guy. We said, you got to come on. He said, well, I don't know. We flipped him an Andrew Jackson, and then he said he'd lose his college eligibility.
He went to the bench. He went to the bench, gave us at least assistant coach Jose Arenas, as much as we enjoyed talking with Jose about a few things. But, you know, again, finally making his debut on the show.
We went to the starter, so we had to get the man in his 12th season, Vince Gibson from LCCC Golden Eagles soccer coach. And Vince, it is a pleasure to have you. We always have fun chatting with you. We see you a lot when we're roaming the halls over in the rack. But thanks for dropping on by today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and welcome rodeo fans to Cheyenne.
All right, let's talk about LCCC soccer. You know, we've had the conversations with Brian and especially with Jason too. And you know, it's not high school. You don't have them freshmen through senior years. You get them for 2 seasons, freshmen as well as sophomores, and then they pack up and go. So during your time at LCCC, you've had the good, you've had the bad. You haven't really had the ugly, but, you know, it's tough sometimes to develop the program when you got a lot of athletes going and you got to recruit new athletes to come to LCCC. I guess what I'm alluding to, sometimes it's a little frustrating being a coach and going out and recruiting every year, huh?
It can be. You got to understand your role as a junior college coach that you're rebuilding every year. And it is sad. Our sophomores that do stay, and by their spring year, they're the type of players we want, but now they're leaving. So we got to start all over again. But I feel like we have a great foundation, you know, with our coaching staff, and we do a good job preparing these young men as they come in.
You know, when we were talking with Jim yesterday, and Nick will agree with me on this, you know, with the success that the program has bred over the years, your program as well as the Lady Golden Eagles soccer program, you get to a point, yes, you still have to go out and about and search for that student athlete to come to LCCC, but you're also in the driver's seat as well, too, that folks are hooking up with you, whether it's through email or however they get a hold of you, saying, hey, I would like to be a Golden Eagle.
Correct. You know, I listened to Jim Gardner yesterday, and he has the luxury of sitting in his office and going through the computer and getting emails from all these coaches all over the world. I actually have to go out there and, you know, beat the streets and look at these players, but I enjoy doing that, and that's kind of what I like to do. I wanted to step back a little bit and talk about Jim Gardner because we know he's retiring after this year. And I grew up in Idaho, and I knew junior college soccer because of Laramie County Community College. And I just want to step back and give Jim props, you know, even way back when I knew of Laramie County Community College before I got in the college scene because of what he's been doing. So he's a great man, going to be missed. I've learned a ton from him about recruiting and everything else. So great man that we're going to miss down the road.
Yeah, again, a Wyoming Hall of Famer, at least on the high school side with Cheyenne East, but also to national, known for JUCO women's soccer, of what he's done with LCCC. But, you know, again, a lot of banners saying women's soccer, but also to a few, at least a couple men's soccer banners, especially of last year winning Region 9, at least getting back in the swing of things, where as we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, or at least for men's soccer, on a bit of a rebound in recent years. Again, we go back a couple seasons. It was pretty rough, but, you know, last year moving in the right direction. So, you know, talk about this season, or at least for 2019. What's kind of the hope for you going into this season? Are we looking to trend higher, or do we have the athletes to get back in the swing of things and put men's soccer back on that map as it's kind of been known for at LCCC?
Yeah, we feel we do. We got a good group early. We kind of restructured our defense, went after defenders first, and got a good group from all over. We have a kid from Texas playing defense, a few from Utah, some good Wyoming kids, and so we're excited about that. But then we also had to fill in the attack, and Colorado's loaded with the attack for us. We have a few internationals. We'll have Matt Wren returning for us, who's a great goal scorer. But Colorado's been really good for us. We ended up getting some good kids late that didn't quite qualify to go Division I. And so we feel like we have a really deep team. Talented team. Practices are going to be fun. They're going to be competing to be traveling. It's just going to be nice that we're not going to depend on 11 guys. I think we're going to have about 18, 20 guys we can depend on.
Before talking about the current products for LCCC men's soccer for 2019, let's talk about something that was announced or at least passed along by Jose Arenas, someone that at least got a little recognition and is moving on to the next level. Good to see out of men's soccer be one Aaron Barber, who signed his letter of intent today, at least over there at LCCC, going to the NAIA Ottawa University out of Kansas. Just talk about a little bit about Aaron Barber and just at least his opportunity now to kind of represent LCCC.
Former Cheyenne Central product.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, what a great young man and a great opportunity for this young man. You know, he held many record in high school for scoring goals, and we brought him in his freshman year, and he wasn't quite clicking on getting the goals that we were hoping he would. So we decided to move him back the next year to play right back, so he could see the field a little bit more, less stress. And it took Quinn Hunt and I, his roommate, a little bit to convince him that's where he needed to be. And he ended up really excelling in there, helping us out, played every minute of every game for us. And then he kind of, you know, after the season said, hey, Coach, everything was great. I'm just going to focus on school and go to UW. We're like, great. And then about 2 weeks ago from today, he says, hey, I took a visit to Ottawa. I think I'm going to go play at Ottawa. What a great opportunity. We have a current player there now that played for us. Nate Johnson's over there. So I think he helped bridge some of that. But when he went there, I asked him today, in fact, after he's signing to go play there, what position are you going to play? He said, right back. I said, well, good job. You know, and so I said, so you feel like you learned something? Yeah, I learned something, Coach. I'm ready to go there, ready to play.
You know, it's interesting when you mention defenders that you go out and look for that first. And first thing that comes to my mind, obviously we don't talk the same language, so I wouldn't be on your staff. I'd be going after the goalkeeper. That's the first guy I would be looking at. It's almost like baseball. You want to look for a shortstop, second baseman, pitcher, catcher, and then you build your team around that portion of the program. So is that how you, when you're out looking and recruiting, you go from the goalie, the goalkeeper, I should say, then you work your way into the scoring department?
No, it doesn't always go that way, and I don't usually go after defenders. I'm a defensive type coach, so it's easy for me to recognize them. But I noticed the last couple of years we've been having we've had trouble with our outside backs holding the ball and bringing them up, and so we need to get some outside backs who are a little bit more technical, play at a higher level, and so when they can hold the ball and get up, that gets our attackers up. So we've been going after athletic defenders, so they're very athletic, they're physical, but passing and dribbling is not their forte. Now we have that. So, yeah, normally you would go for a keeper, and we got 3 new ones this year. You know, we have 1 returner, and we got 3 new ones. But I felt like this year we needed to go after some quality defenders. And I think after that, things just kind of fell into place from there.
Is your sport becoming similar to what we hear in most athletic sports? And, again, especially on the collegiate side, bigger, stronger, faster. Is that what you're looking for every time you go out on the recruiting trail?
You know, that is the case, most definitely. And I heard Jim talk about that, too, on the radio show yesterday. And these kids are more technical than they have been in the past. Soccer IQ, not so much so. They need to watch a little bit more. I think they're so active they don't actually see the game and understand the game quite educationally. So that's kind of something we kind of step in to help them. But, yeah, technically they're definitely better than they have been in the past. They're more physical. They're very fast. Yeah.
Where would you send your players off to go watch? You know, we we have Major League Soccer here in the States. You know, it's been kind of criticized. It's not the upper echelon of pro, at least soccer, at least around the world. But is it something where, you know, we push to, you know, your student athletes to watch a Division I school or possibly semi-pro? I know that LCCC does have representation, you know, for instance, at the Las Vegas Lights, a semi-pro league, competing out there. But, again, when you're talking to get that soccer IQ, are you pushing them to the Premier Leagues? Are you pushing them to watch the World Cup, for instance? I mean, where do you prefer to them to learn those soccer skills?
Yeah, no, that's good. They can watch it on TV, the English Premier League. Close by, I would say we got some great D2 schools in Regis University and Metro State University, and then, of course, Division I, Denver University, Air Force Academy. Those are 2 great ones right there. And you got the Rapids right down the street. But I like to gauge them towards where I think they're going to play, what effort they're going to give. They need to see that, oh, wow, that's what these guys are doing at that level. I thought I just brought my high school game right here, and this is the next step. You know, they need to understand that, no, this is now a job. This is no longer just a hobby. You got to have a little bit more buy-in.
No, there's more to it than kicking the ball and just instantly scoring. There's a little skill, technical, all that, at least go along with it. But as we talk about, at least with the past with LCCC, again, a lot of representation for Golden Eagles, at least kind of getting the name out there for new recruits. But with LCCC, obviously with that campus being here in town, it is the county's community college, not only just the city of Cheyenne, but as you alluded to, talked about, again, seeing a few Cheyenne products coming to LCCC. For instance, Tevin Chu will be a part of this, at least squad. Also, too, Ethan Mathis, just to name a few. Also, Torrington, Wyoming, getting representation with Nathan Stitt. Also, too, out of Cheyenne, Liam Leslie. And then last but not least, Chase Willett. So, a lot of, at least looking internally, whether it is at Central, East, or South, bringing them in, and again, getting the hometown crowd at least a little pumped up for some local products on the JUCO side.
And you also have Tanner Riedel that's coming back too.
Parker Longbottom as well. Yeah, there's some great ones. You know, our goal at LCCC, especially for the men's soccer, is to go after not only the best local kids, but the best state kids, the best regional kids. And I think we do a great job of that. My coaching staff identifying that talent. Definitely in Cheyenne, we go after the best and we're going to get the best. But in the statewide, I think we've made a statement too that we're the school you need to come to.
So, you know, you look at other schools, in Region 9 as well, and we're competing for these same type of kids because they know about Cheyenne, they know about Laramie, we can go to Jackson, we go everywhere we want. Is it a little tough sometimes when you are going after that regional kid?
Yes and no. You know, there's some really good kids that we've bypassed because they just don't fit our team philosophy and what we're looking for. But they're really good, and they've gone to other schools that have helped them out, but I just don't think they'd fit with our coaching philosophy and the guys that we recruit. But I feel like for the most part, the guys that are on our A-list, let's say for this year I had 10 guys on my A-list, I feel like we got 9. So I think we do pretty good on regionally getting the right guys that we want.
And what's the secret to success to getting that 9 out of 10?
You know,
I mean, that's an A. That's an A grade if I remember right.
The hard part to sell is we're in Wyoming because a lot of them don't know where that is, even though they're 90 minutes down the road. But once we get them up here, we show them the facilities and the field that we play on. You know, our grounds crew's done a great job with the field we have. They like the facilities. We show them everything that we do game day. The coaches, we as coaches, we give the tours. You know, we want them to understand how important it is to us. We show them everything that we do where we practice indoor because a lot of people don't have an indoor facility. They don't have the best field, you know, in a couple regional states here. So when they come up here and they see the coaches, they see the players because they intermingle with the players. They see what the long-range picture is, what we've done in the past, where they can go. They get the whole picture of it. They want to be a part of that.
Talking about the recruiting as well, where, again, looking up and down this roster, it is a lot of regional, at least, folks, whether it's Idaho, Colorado, Wyoming, you know, Utah as well, too, coming in and being a part of this LCCC men's soccer squad. You talk about internationals, or at least some, you know, if we are to get some of the coastal kids to come out to Cheyenne, Wyoming, but has there ever been an issue with soccer? Obviously, it is a stamina sport. Again, a lot of running, and with the high elevation, might turn away some of those international kids. Has that ever been an issue regarding recruiting of, you know, a little pushback on the altitude, the low oxygen? I don't know if it's a best fit for me, Coach.
No, I've never run up against that. Maybe we don't tell them, but they end up finding out eventually. A lot of them do get those the masks for altitude mask and do some running that way, so they kind of prepare themselves. But again, we sell us and our team, and I don't think they care that the elevation is so high and it's in the middle of the United States and there's not a lot of big draw here. They come for us, the school, the community. This is what they want to be a part of.
You know, soccer now is played on two different fronts. Of course, the nice grass that you have out there at LCCC. And again, the way your crew out there preps that field for a match, they do an excellent job. But also, too, and I remember talking to Jose about this as well, you can play on the carpet now, the all-weather turf. Obviously, the game's going to be a little more faster, I would venture to say, on the all-weather turf.
It would be, yes.
So your preference, all-weather turf or grass?
Grass is my preference, but our climate is made for turf. Our grounds crew has made it so short, though, it's almost like turf. So even though we have a turf game coming up, we rather play on our field because it's very similar. It's a fast-moving, grass. They cut it so short, and it's almost like golf grass. We're not allowed to practice on our field. We can only play games on it. And after the games, they come out and they fix all the divots. I mean, that's how immaculate that field is. And usually in front of the goal boxes you have where the goalies train and the grass is dead. we haven't moved our field in 5 years. It's stayed in the same spot. They just do a great job.
When you are practicing, or at least, again, transitioning from the grass fields, and you do realize you have an all-weather turf game coming up. Now, obviously, here in town, we have 3 high schools, again, all renovated, all with that all-weather turf, whether it's east, central, south. Is that an opportunity? Have at least high schools been willing to work with you, at least
High schools have been great. All 3 of them have worked with us. We've either had games on their field or practice on their field. They're always working with us, and it's been really good.
Well, let's size up the schedule. Let's first go to the non-conference side, and then, of course, we get into the Region 9. But let's talk.
It's a little similar to the women's side if you look up and down again.
Let's talk about your but the competition on either side is, you never know what it's going to be like, and again, you have to bring your lunchbox to every contest. So, Coach, tell us a little bit what we can expect in the early part of the season.
This is kind of similar to what we normally do, the conference schedule. The change, though, that I'm kind of weary about is our preseason. Usually we play 3 D2 schools. Well, they're starting later this year, so we can only get 1. So like us going to Colorado Northwestern for a scrimmage, I try to make it hard on us and travel there. So our legs are a little bit tired, different atmosphere, so that one's going to be a little bit different. But then Snow College, what a great team. We were the region champions, went to the district tournament. They were their region champions. They were the district tournament, so they're a high caliber team, number 1 team out of Region 18, so that'll be fun to play them. Cloud's always been a great team from Kansas, so it'll be fun to just play that round robin there. Eastern Florida, this is a great school. Broward's from Miami. 2 great schools that are going to play in Florida, nationally ranked schools. And they're going to test us and tell us where we're at, what we need to change, what we need to fix. Then after that, we go to Iowa Western, Iowa Lakes, 2 other nationally ranked teams. I think Iowa Western's won the national tournament before. So it's good. It's challenging. We're on the road. It's going to be very challenging. But I feel like these teams that we're playing early, we're going to see them later on down the road in postseason somewhere, sometime. Then we get into our schedule, of course. It's changed a little bit this year. So in the past, we had a north and a south for Region 9, and now everyone plays each other once. So this will be the first year for that. So it'll be kind of interesting how that goes, because we've played the north teams all the time, usually 2 or 3 times, and now we get to play everyone once, and we get to see the south teams where normally we don't. So I think that helped us out last year in the tournament, because when we played Western Nebraska at their place in the first round, we never saw them. And we ended up getting them 1-0, and that we were up and ready to play. I'm not taking that away from us, but I think that kind of hurt them not playing us in regular season.
So looking at the non-conference, so again, similar to the women's side of things, again, traveling to Florida, traveling out to Iowa, taking on some big names, big nationally ranked programs where if you're able to steal a few wins, and hopefully you do, get you that nice little national recognition, probably get you up on the national rankings as well, too. And again, hopefully you are able to do that. But regarding Region 9, at least combining that region into no longer north-south, but seeing everyone, in your opinion, Coach, of what you've been seeing, whether it is recruiting from other teams or what returners are going to be a part of some of these Region 9 teams, who's kind of on your radar right now to at least keep an eye out in Region 9 play?
Our region has gotten so much stronger. When I first came here in 2008, we won the region championship 2008, 2009. The next one wasn't until 2016. That just goes to show you how strong it's got. So we really had to wrap it up and get better recruits and play some better teams. And so with that being said, I would say in the north, Sheridan, Gillette definitely would be some top 2 teams. Northwest has a new coach, but I think he's recruited really well. We got Central Wyoming College and Western Wyoming. They'll come in and they make it hard for some of the teams too. On the south side, Western Nebraska is going to be good again. They get a lot of those international kids. NJC, Northeastern Junior College, I think will be good too, just because of the international flavor. But I really want to say the strong one, I think, is going to be Otero Junior College.
Well, at least interested to see how that goes and fares through Region 9. Is it fair to assume, again, with last year, what happened with LCCC, you are Region 9 champions, defending Region 9 champions, but as you get into conference play, is it fair to assume that you're going to have a bit of a target on your back, or at least teams are going to hold you with higher echelon since you are defending champs?
Unfortunately, yes, because we just had our first preseason coaches poll, and I was hoping we'd be in the middle of the pack. No, we got the number 1. So, yeah, the target's there. It's already ready to go. So we'll just prepare our players for that target and move forward.
Let me ask you this. Again, Coach Vince Gibson and LCCC Golden Eagles soccer team join us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. You mentioned the international kids as opposed to, our region kids, wherever, Texas, U.S. kids. Is there a different style of play? Because we've noticed that in basketball. So is there a different style? Yeah, running, heading, anything you want to do in soccer, that's all, been taught or, self-knowledge. But is there a difference between the European style and the U.S. style?
Most definitely. It's their sport. Ours is baseball, basketball, football. Theirs is soccer, and it's something they grew up with, and they're definitely more technical, and they can help you out. Definitely can help you out. It's can they buy into what your team formation is and your team strategy, and can they buy in with your players? Do they have the right mindset? There's so much that goes into it. Sometimes it's a gamble, and you hope you get the right kid.
Let's talk about your team before we get into that first match. Concerns. What do you, without any games being played yet, what is a concern that you notice right now about this team?
I got too many players.
That's a good concern, right?
Yes, I got 32 guys coming in. I have 10 returners and 22 new guys coming in. So my concern is, playing time. The best are going to play, but practices are going to be competitive. So that's a minor concern. If you're thinking of, when we get out there, keeper's always a concern. We got one that played a little bit, and then we got 3 new ones. So I'd say that's probably my major concern right now to see where we're at. Just who's going to step up, take the lead, who's going to learn quick enough to be where they need to be. Definitely. Final
thought from me, and Nick, I'll let you wrap it up if you have anything left. We were talking about this preseason schedule, and I asked Jim this yesterday, and I'll ask you the same thing too. When you are putting your schedules together, is this something that the women and the men do together, or you have your own list of foes that you would like to hopefully do a home-and-home series? Do you usually get home-and-homes with these teams, and is it tough to get teams to come to Cheyenne?
Those are all great questions. No, Jim
all
and I,
packaged in one,
that's
one
okay.
quick one.
I got that. Jim and I do not try to package deal the teams together because the women's side is different than the men's side. Some schools that he plays, they're not as strong on the men's side. We do try to play those top teams, and we have them come here. We've had Monroe Community College come here. We've beat Barton Community College, who's #1 in the nation. They came here at one time. We've had Iowa Western. So we've had a lot of those schools come here, and we go there. So it is a kind of a trade-off. So I feel like there's some schools that owe us, and we definitely owe a lot of schools to go there too. So, but we always try to make it the best we can. Those preseason's really tough.
Well, before the regular season gets underway again, August 23rd is same with the women. And again, here in town for the men, they'll be taking on Snow College. 1:30 kickoff time. Their tentative schedule at LCCC. But before we get into that, my final thought, or at least something for you to plug, Coach, coming up August 10th, same as the women. The men will do the same thing. LCCC alumni game happening there at LCCC. This is set for 1 o'clock, but again, at least time's tentative. But again, we will pass along that information as we get closer to it. But just talk about that LCCC alumni game.
Oh, what a fun thing. We've had some great players in the past, and they're from all over. They're Wyoming, Idaho, Utah, Colorado, and it just keeps growing and growing. My first year here, I think we had barely 11, and now we have 40 guys coming up each time. They're bringing their kids. A lot of them have married former athletes at LCCC, so it's just a big family atmosphere. It's going to be fun this year to have. We'd love you guys to come out and the whole community to come out and watch this, so really excited. And, hey, it's Jim Gardner's final season, so we need everyone to come out.
Well, Vince, we want to thank you so much for coming into our studios today, chatting with us. We are looking forward to LCCC men's soccer, the 2019 edition on the field.
Don't think it's a one-and-done deal. We need you maybe middle of the season, also too afterwards as well, too.
We'll need your thoughts on your concerns about mid-season as well, too. All righty. Again, thanks to Vince Gibson, head coach of the LCCC men's soccer program. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with more after these words here at 1480 KRAE.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Don Morris at 307-637-0301.
The end of the summer is in sight. Did you accomplish all of your home improvements and remodeling projects? Whether you're remodeling your kitchen or adding a little extra space for your growing family, home equity line of credit with Platte Valley Bank can help you finish what you want to complete this summer. So stop in and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit with Platte Valley Bank.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All lines of credit are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply.
In life, you question everything. The same should be true when it comes to managing your wealth. What are your investment recommendations based on? How much are you paying in fees? And how can those fees impact your returns? Charles Schwab encourages investors to get engaged and ask tough questions. To learn more, call the Schwab Cheyenne branch at 307-459-0998 or visit schwab.com/Cheyenne. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated, member SIPC. Family-owned and operated, Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company offers many different types of rock, stones, boulders, and other decorative products that make a perfect addition to your yard or landscape. You'll find river rock, flagstone, lava rock, pavers, along with compost, mulch, and a lot more. So stop into Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company today to find out what will be best for improving your front or backyard. A family tradition since 1977, Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company, open 7 days a week, all season long, on North Yellowstone Road in Cheyenne.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 93 and winds out of the southwest at 15 to 20 miles per hour. If it's tonight, it'll be clear skies with lows around 58. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 93. And on Friday night, it'll be clear skies with lows around 57.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Perotti. Along Nick Perotti. Thank you again to Vince Gibson joining us here on our program as we finally got him in studio. Not that we're not trying to make him feel bad, but he finally had some time to sneak on in and chat with us. So
if anything, it's a specialty of what we got. Finally getting him in studio and talking LCCC men's soccer as. Again, here we are, July 18th, but as soon as we know it, again, that LCCC alumni game will get underway. Regular season will be starting up 2019 again for LCCC men's soccer. They are your defending Region 9 champions, looking to at least get that crown once again coming up this season. Unlike the women, where at least for the women's side, they can win the region and move on to the national tournament. For the men, it's a little interesting going from Region 9 champions, got to compete in a almost, sub-tournament to eventually get on at least into the national tournament. So a longer trek for men's soccer to get to that national tournament. But again, at least talking to Vince Gibson, looking at that roster, looking at that schedule. Hopefully LCCC has, again, this is a program over the past couple of years. It's gone through a bit of a rough patch, but it
rebounded back though. I mean,
it did last year. Again, 2 years ago, it hit rock bottom. Unfortunately, again, it had a rough season, but last year it climbed. It's moving at least northward, at least in a positive light, and hopefully again fruits of the labor at least showcases off a little bit better record this season.
Well, and then again too, when things go well, in the case of Aaron Barber, you get to move on to that next level too.
Yeah.
So again, he gets to continue his education, B gets to continue on his soccer career as well. Not that, even if you have a bad season, but again, the program here has had some success. Well, it's had actually moderate success through the years. So as long as it's successful, these young men are going to be moving on.
You go out to the rack.
programs.
You go out to the rack, and obviously you'll see the basketball banners up there. There are a few of them. But what dominates the rack right now of those Region 9 championships is you see of women's soccer and also too men's soccer.
Yeah.
They have a lot of representation out there of what they've been doing in Region 9 and also too making it to those national tournaments. So again, just looking at that schedule for men's soccer, hopefully they are able to get some of those upsets. Granted, it's going to be a little tough on the road. Again, Iowa and Florida for those contests, kind of like for the women, they're in Florida, and then they'll be, I do believe, in Kansas. But, again, tough road trips, taking on some top-level talent. But if they could sneak away a few of those wins, that's definitely going to at least help out the rest of the season, get them prepared for Region 9. Also, too, if they do get to those national tournaments, possibly see those opponents and know how to take care of them that second go-around.
And you mentioned with the soccer banners up there, we also are starting to see volleyball banners, which reminds me, head coach Keri Coates, her first season.
Yes.
She will be joining us here in the 4 o'clock hour. And, with banners, hopefully we'll start seeing women's basketball up there, too, under one Brian Ortmeyer.
Well, he's making history every year, so
that's right. He'll be starting his 4th season
for this season, 2019-2020. I mean, we finally hosted at least a playoff game, made it to the at least regional tournament. So I mean, let's see, to make more history. Let's see,
you got to win the region.
Yeah, he's got to win the regional.
No pressure there, or win a game in the region tournament. I know you don't care, but the Open is going on across the pond right now. Yeah, the Open.
Who?
Yeah.
Sorry, there's.
I'm
more focused on baseball.
It used to be called the British Open. Now it's the Open. Here's some names just to throw out. How the course has destroyed them today. Rory McIlroy, 8 over par, shooting a 79. Tiger Woods, don't expect him to be in the thick of things. He shot 7 over today. He's at 78. Lefty Phil Mickelson is in the clubhouse right now. He carded a 76 for today. And I'm looking at some of the golfers on the course right now. J.B. Holmes, he's from the U.S. He 5 under par, so he 66. He shot a 66. So if you're looking at like Woods, he's 12 strokes off the pace.
Whatever.
Let me throw out a couple other. Brooks Koepka, he had a 68 for today. He is 3 under par. Lee Westwood, 3 under par. Just trying to, throw out some quick names here of note. Let's see who is shooting. Jason Day is 1 under par for today. And I think we'll wrap it up right there. So, again, the first day of the Open Championship. This is in Northern Ireland. So you would figure with like Rory McIlroy, home course advantage.
Not really.
Not today. Not happening.
Sorry, pro golf doesn't do it for me. Again, I'd rather push that. Obviously we didn't have a chance to talk about the Wyoming Open that happened at least last weekend,
which got cut short by
weather,
Mr. Rain and Thunder.
Unfortunately, but again, that happened here in town. Getting ramped up for high school at least golf once again. So we'll talk about that. Get at least post comments again. Hopefully, talk with Michael Lepore. At least get the central side of things. Obviously, we've talked with Paul Hardigan, at least East High head coach. So we'll talk about that. But again, did want to mention that little footnote that the Wyoming Open did happen at least a few weekends ago. Again, yes, it was cut short to go figure the weather, as that has been an issue this entire at least spring and summer here in the Cap City, and we'll be curious, or at least it's going to be interesting as we get underway. We are a few hours away. At least it starts up tomorrow. The CFD. Will weather play a factor for these next 10 days, as it's been for baseball, for golf, for whatever has happened here in the city of Cheyenne? Is weather going to be playing a factor coming up for the Cowboys and Cowgirls there at Frontier Park?
And, of course, the Daddy of them all officially will get underway Saturday.
Well, it's already been underway with slack.
But, again, weather doesn't play a part. If you notice in the morning, that's the best time to be out there.
Well, you got to wonder for the late afternoon shows, and also, too, for, again, we have the PBR events at night. You can get those rogue late thunderstorms. So, and it is something where Be interesting to see how they adjust to the slop out there again, get a little bit muddy. You can still get out there, but obviously if there is lightning in the area, they do delay things. Again, obviously there are metal benches out there. You do have to at least protect the athletes and at least those in attendance.
One thing about the Cowboys and Cowgirls, their veins are tough as nails.
Yeah.
So and they can adapt to any.
But I think they would prefer more of a dry at least field that dealing with the mud and especially with the barrel racers and all that. Hey, they'll fight through it, but.
Perfect conditions here for the Cowboys and Cowgirls, right about 80, 85 degrees.
Yeah.
Anything above that, it's hot for this.
And looking at the
climate.
Forecast ahead, at least here we are in the 90s for the next couple of days, but it is supposed to dip down in the low 70s coming up in the weekend.
And that'll be perfect weather.
But it is supposed to chance with thunderstorms, rain showers throughout at least the upcoming week. So we'll see if that does affect Frontier Days as other sports here in town have been affected by the wacky weather that we've just been having.
And, I always tip my cap to the Cowboys and Cowgirls because when I was doing the pre-shows back in the day where I would go across the arena floor to take care of the junior barrel program, this was when they had them early on, and then you got into your pre-show. And I remember walking across after, a night of heavy rain or thunder. Mm-hmm. I mean, you literally sink in that arena. I mean, that slop is just thick, and you just go right down about a foot. So to these Cowboys and Cowgirls that are, riding their horses doing barrels or they're, doing bowls or steer wrestling. I mean, I'll tell you what, I tip my cap to them because, like I said, they know how to adapt to these conditions, and, the scores usually reflect how good of the talent that we have here that comes to Cheyenne. I do want to talk about this. We haven't really mentioned it because we come out of the All-Star break, we get right back into baseball, and then we talk about, trades, which has been very quiet on the trade front. But you know what's happening this weekend?
There's been years like this in MLB where
nothing has happened.
It'll happen on the last day, or it's been quiet for a majority. It is something. This is not abnormal for Major League Baseball, but for as much as rumors have been passed along, here we are in 2019, where you can have your experts, quote unquote, of tossing out the rumor mills of, hey, here's where Madison's going, or it's guaranteed Will Smith's on the move, or here's what the Rockies are going to do. Well, so far at this point in time, nothing has happened. And also, too, if we're going to stick on, at least go into the trade talks of MLB.
No, I'm not going to go into trade talks. I want to talk about that later. What I was alluding to is I'm going to miss it, too, on Sunday because I'm going to be on the road. The Hall of Fame. I love the Hall of Fame. I think again, being a baseball fan that I am, and to see, again, first my heroes are already in to the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
But now to see this year's class, and let's look at the class this year. Mariano Rivera. Can't say too many bad things about Mariano Rivera unless you are not a Yankees fan.
Yeah, I was going to say if you're a Boston or probably a Met fan, but
this guy was the epitome of the closer.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He was your ultimate specialist. He is, again, if you think of a closing pitcher, he is number one on that Mount Rushmore, so to speak.
Exactly.
Again, he could do no wrong for the New York Yankees in that closing role. So, Hall of Famer, without a doubt, no surprise there. Again, first ballot Hall of Famer. It is not a surprise.
And a unanimous Hall of Famer.
Yeah, unanimous.
And then there's the late Roy Halladay. Unfortunately, he will not be able to be a part of the festivities, but again, doing his business with Toronto first.
Yeah.
And then his career just blossomed even more with Philadelphia.
Well, again,
a no-no in the playoffs.
Yeah, I was going to say a no-hitter at least. In the playoffs, he winning a championship with the Philadelphia Phillies. Again, Roy Halladay, a phenomenal starter, a guy who definitely deserved it. Even if he was alive, he was a Hall of Famer no matter what. But very kind of special thing, cool thing that MLB is doing, or at least the Hall of Fame, at least getting him into the Hall of Fame and recognizing him this year.
And it's interesting, too, because there's 4 pitchers that are going to be in this year's class. The next pitcher is Mike Mussina, who pitched twice in the American League, Baltimore and the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
And really, the bulk of his career, the bulk of his wins came with Baltimore.
Yeah.
So and that was back in the day when the Birds were a good baseball team and they were making,
but he was elevated more on the big stage, obviously with the wins at Baltimore, but he was elevated and put in that limelight being a part of the Yankees, and that's where I think majority of probably MLB fans would recognize him as in the pinstripes, that he is a New York Yankee. So, but again, a guy who had a phenomenal career, deserving of the Hall of Fame. It makes sense, at least for him and also, too, at least to kind of pair those two up together in this year's class.
And then you look at another Hall of Famer, one Lee Smith, who pitched for the Chicago Cubs. And again, he did his business out of the bullpen. And, after he left the Cubs, and he was with the Cubs for about 8 seasons, and then toiled around with Boston, St. Louis, the Yankees, Baltimore, California at that time, and the California Angels, and then also Cincinnati and Montreal. But, I mean, his ninth inning role with the Cubs back in the day, and again, he was playing on Cubs teams that were, they weren't
not that great, yeah.
But I know he got into a couple of playoffs with the Cubs. But I mean, this is the guy that came in, and for example, he was your saves guy. 83, he had 29 saves, 33 in 84, 33 in 85, 36 in 1987. Then in St. Louis in 91 and 92, and again in 93 under Tony La Russa back then. I do believe it was Tony La Russa or the end of the Whitey Herzog era. 47, 43, 46 saves. I mean, this guy in 18 years, 478 saves.
Again,
so
without knowing
I'm
just saying, without knowing his career, not knowing who he is exactly, again, well before my time. But
he was a power pitcher.
No, again, as you're reading off those stats of what that is, yes, I would say Hall of Fame worthy, absolutely. Definitely not at least Rivera kind of first ballot Hall of Famer, but again, stats and numbers that, yes, he is a Hall of Famer and obviously getting that recognition. So good on him. So, pitching staff, or at least the pitchers getting recognition, especially now we're seeing some of the specialists getting the recognition. So,
right.
Interesting to see. Now, it is a Lee Smith getting pushed in there due to the fact, now here's where my argument, or at least my little criticism of the Hall of Fame is a Lee Smith getting pushed in there, or, would some of these guys have to take a seat back due to the fact of a Roger Clemens if they figured out a way to get him in, Barry Bonds, whoever, a McGuire, some of the big names that have been on the fringe due to the steroid controversy. Would some of these guys had to take a seat back due to the fact of some of these other big guys who are sitting, waiting right now, who are on the fringe of getting those votes to possibly get in the Hall of Fame?
Lee Smith is deserving of the Hall of Fame. I think the way the Hall of Fame is starting to balance things, you look at Goose Gossage, the epitome of your closers back in the day. Bruce Sutter, most recently Trevor Hoffman from San Diego. Lee Smith is in that category of a Trevor Hoffman. So Smith is in there not because of, the Clemenses of the world not being voted in. I think, again, this is the Veterans Committee that put Lee Smith in. Matter of fact, the Veterans Committee also put in Harold Baines. Now, Harold Baines, again, who is he was a DH most of his career. Matter of fact, him and Edgar Martinez, both of them did DHing. But Harold Baines played from 1980, and the bulk of his career was with the Chicago White Sox. Had a little stint with Oakland, Baltimore, Cleveland, and then came back to the White Sox at age 42, retired in 2001. But you look at the numbers, career hits, he had 2,866 career hits. Not that much of a home run hitter. He had 384 career home runs. But again, does he have the numbers to back up his inclusion in the Hall? Hit 289 lifetime. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
It's decent. It is not world breaking or anything phenomenal. But
you look at years of service, though. I mean, and I think the DH for one Harold Baines, that's what prolonged his career, because he was an outfielder.
Well, that's where we see a lot of, again, the aging vets at least move into that DH
like
role.
Jim Thome, for example. Yeah.
Well, look at what happened, right, at least recently now in Cleveland with Carlos Gonzalez kind of adopting that role, or at least trying to move into it. Again, you see some of those power hitters who are aging and can't really fulfill that full-time defensive role or be at least out in the field, will take up that role. So, again, DH, you can make whatever argument for or against. I am a National League purist, so I like the pitcher where, again, it does add that element of coaching to it and trying to figure out are you using the bunt? Do you allow him to swing? Is it an easy out? There is some question mark and some at least interesting aspect of the game of it. But, again, DH is that important position, or at least does give these options for these aging vets to, again, have their power bat be out there, but kind of ease them on the defensive side and not have to be out in the field and again, kind of tiring themselves out, so to speak.
And here's another guy, and I know we got to get to the top of the hour here because we do have our next guest, but wrapping it up here, Edgar Martinez. And this, to me, gives me the hope that one Todd Helton will get in.
He will get in. He's not first ballot, but I think it takes him, as I've said, a couple years. Yeah, it takes him about 3-4 years.
You look here at Edgar Martinez, 87 through 2004, his entire career with Seattle. Tip your cap to him on that. Started out as a third baseman, ended up being the DH.
Well, that's the reason why right now at T-Mobile Park, or at least Safeco, as I remember, again, it is Edgar Martinez Drive out there. That's where that is
and again,
located.
Not to take anything away from the Hall numbers, but 2,247 career hits. I mean, that's not all that great. Career batting average 312. I will give him props on that. But again, his entire career with the Seattle Mariners from 87 through 2004. To me, again, with those numbers, it always lends support and hope to me that Todd Helton, and it took, look how long it took Edgar Martinez to get in. It took, I think, about 8-9 tries before he got in.
Well,
I hope it doesn't take that long for Todd Helton.
Yeah, I mean, Todd Helton's going to be in that kind of category of, will it take him some time? Possibly. Someone who's got at least those numbers. Granted, it does help with, the hits that he's amassed over his career of one Ichiro. Again, a similar style player. At least I'd say maybe a little bit better than Edgar Martinez, but, maybe that could be a situation for Ichiro where I think, in my opinion, he's a fringe first ballot Hall of Famer. He is a Hall of Famer, I think, but it might take him that time to get into the Hall of Fame, possibly if you see it off of this kind of growing trend.
It depends on the class, though, each and every year. You got to look at the class. The class this year, especially.
I'm just saying that goes back to my earlier point of, will future years get backed up? Will some of these names and some of these folks who are kind of on that edge, or maybe it'll take them some time. Well, now they have to take a seat back to a Clemens, to a Bonds, to whoever's coming, at least where we're kind of jam-packed right now of, trying to skirt around some of these big names that still await to get into the Hall of Fame.
Or some of those big names are going to back off in some of the voting, too, next year. So, again, we'll take a look at that class.
Again, we're still awaiting Pete Rose. Pete Rose, who I think absolutely needs to get in the Hall of Fame.
Well, it's going to be the Veterans Committee, and when they decide to get to that, nobody knows.
They need to.
All right, we need to move on to hour number 2. We'll be back with hour number 2 and Wyoming Sports Talk today right here on 1480 KRAE.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And it's being brought to you by Mondello's Pizzeria. When I think Italian food, when I think Paisan food, Sicilian, I think of only one place, Mondello's Pizzeria, because home-style cuisine, recipes that were brought from back east out here almost 4 decades ago by Joe Mondello. I'm telling you, the food is delicious. It's not corporate. It's family recipes. Come on by to Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons, open Monday through Sunday. First Tier Bank directly across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Banking done the old-fashioned way. Yeah, you, me. Customer service always first and foremost. Tim and the crew invite you to stop on in to First Tier Bank. Start a checking account. Start a savings account. Hey, check out their great CD rates they got going on right now over at First Tier Bank. Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard, all part of Lennox Enterprises, again, for a quarter century. They have been taking care of our vehicle needs here in Cheyenne. And, of course, they've been taking care of the area and Cheyenne's needs, again, for 25 years. Medicap Pharmacy over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Again, open Monday through Saturday with your doctor's prescription. Gene and his great staff will fill those prescriptions. Talk about those medications to you so you know you're taking them properly. So shop inside Monday through Saturday or use the convenient drive-thru Monday through Saturday as well. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, directly across from Powers Field and from Menards. For a limited time, Ray and Cindy say, try this. Their smokehouse barbecue bacon sandwich. It's huge, it's big, it's delicious. And wash it down with their strawberry passion tea lemonade. Ooh, so good. 3 squares served up there 6 days a week. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 2 convenient drive-thrus. And again, take advantage of those specialty items because after the summer's gone, so will these items be too. Go to SheyeneChicken.com. Get some more information on them coming by and catering your event as well. Directly across from Powers Field and Menards. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Banking done the old-fashioned way, always with customer service. High technology way, the way Nick likes to do it. Everything in between. Rick and the crew invites you to stop by on Vandehigh as well as on the east side at the corner of College and Pershing. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way, where the Kia family says, come on in and take advantage of some wonderful deals they got going on. Summertime prices are excellent right now at Kia of Cheyenne, and so is the selection. So see AJ and my friends over there at Kia of Cheyenne. Take a test drive on Nation Way. And last but not least, we want to thank Taco John's. It's back this year, chicken sandwich. Ooh, it's so good. And Taco John's has all their locations here in Cheyenne, including the food truck, which is directly across from the being rebuilt South Greeley Highway location. You'll usually find that right there in the Outlaw Saloon parking lot, the Taco John's food truck. So again, all areas of Cheyenne can enjoy delicious Taco John's cuisine. Taco John's of Cheyenne. And we get things underway. We're going to get updating our scoreboard. It's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
Well, that's what I do. But anyways, as we'll update the scoreboard, again, Cheyenne Mustangs in action, or at least they were, as one game has gone final, at least the afternoon, the second of the doubleheader. But earlier today, taking on the Rough Riders as they are competing again in the Colorado State Tournament down in Greeley, Colorado. First contest against the Rough Riders was a 11-3 loss for the Cheyenne Mustangs, but however, game number 2 against the Legacy High School, they did get the victory for the Cheyenne Mustangs, final of 11-5. So with the split today, Cheyenne Mustangs overall moved to 22-23 on the at least season. Cheyenne Post 6 as they compete right now in the Gabe Pando tournament happening in Fort Collins, Colorado. Earlier this morning, they took on the Hawaii squad, got the victory against them 8-0, and currently right now top of the 6 as they're taking on Grandview High School. Grandview has a lead 6-0. So, however, though, for Post 6 with their lone win today, and we'll see what happens on this contest, but again, with the one victory, Cheyenne Post 6 moves to 49-18 overall.
Major League Baseball, bottom of the 5th inning. All the other matinee contests are final, but this is the first of a day-night doubleheader in the Bronx. Yankees and the Rays, they are knotted up at 2 apiece. That's in the bottom of the 5th inning. Finals in. Marlins have defeated the Padres 4-3. Phils over the Dodgers 7-6 in Philadelphia at Citizens Bank Ballpark. The Bo Sox with a 5-0 blank job of the Blue Jays at Fenway. Chris Sale getting the win in that contest. He's now 4-9 for Boston this season. Royals at Kauffman Stadium, they pick up a 6-5 win over the Pale Hose. Games in the 5 o'clock hour. Yankees and the Rays, game 2 of that double dip from Yankee Stadium. Tigers, Indians at Progressive Field. Cardinals, Reds at Great American Ballpark. 5:20 will be the Nats and the Braves at SunTrust in Cumberland. It will be the Athletics and the Twins at 6:10. That will be at Target Field. 7 o'clock game, we'll have the Astros and the Angels in SoCal at Angel Stadium of Anaheim. Brewers and the Diamondbacks at Chase Field, 7:40. And the late night contest around 7:45, Oracle Park, San Francisco. And realistically, Nick, this is one you definitely want to watch, and I hope somebody has it, like the Major League Baseball Network. It's the Mets and the Giants. You get to see Noah Syndergaard going up against Mad Bum, 2 premier pitchers in Major League Baseball. So that is our late night contest. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find the store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
Capital Lumber is lumber one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is lumber one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne. The message is simple: drive sober or get pulled over. If you drink and drive, remember it's illegal and it can cost you your freedom or worse, your life. It's been determined that a blood alcohol content of 0.08% or more can impair you considerably when you are behind the wheel. Financially, it can devastate you if you get arrested. More importantly, it could result in losing a friend or a family member. That price is too high to pay. Call a designated driver after enjoying a night out and get home safe. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds.
Introducing Digital Wallet, a new way to pay with Platte Valley Bank. Add your Platte Valley Bank debit card to Google Pay, Samsung Pay, or Apple Pay, and have the ability to make purchases with just your phone. It's secure, simple, and accepted by millions of merchants worldwide. Try it today or check out pbbank.com for more information.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned, full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy, we'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Family-owned and operated, Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company invites you to stop by for these great summertime specials featuring all greenhouse flowers and herbs. Buy one and get two free. Save 50% off on B&B aspen trees, 25% off on container deciduous trees, and 15% off all container evergreen trees and shrubs. Also get 20% off on all Austrian, pinyon, and spruce trees, plus B&B ash, elm, hawkberry, oak, and pear trees. Looking for a gift? Check out their gift center and receive 15% off on one gift item. Serving Cheyenne in the area since 1977, it's always a one-stop shop for your yard and garden. From family-owned and operated, Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company on Yellowstone Road in North Cheyenne. Open 7 days a week, all season long.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480krae.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 93 and winds out the southwest at 15 to 20 miles per hour. If it's tonight, it'll be clear skies with lows around 58. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 93. And on Friday night, it'll be clear skies with lows around 57.
Here, the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk. Today it's hour number 2, Larry Perotti, along with Nick Perotti, and our very special guest join us here in hour number 2. It's interesting because we had longtime head coach who's retiring after the season, Jim Gardner. We had Vince Gibson in starting his 12th year. We've had Jason Fick in for his 13th season. Brian Artmeyer will be starting his 4th. First-year head coach, Keri Coates, joins us. She is the Lady Golden Eagles head volleyball coach. And I guess, we were kind of talking off air, things have kind of calmed down a little bit. But are you chomping at the bit to get the kids on campus and get this thing off and running?
Yeah, I think at this point I've been here for a few months now with no volleyball. So it's time. I'm ready to go. We've got our team ready. All of our roster spots filled. So it's time to bring him in and get
well, let's talk about that roster really quickly as well, too, as we've kind of talked about. We've mentioned a few times, and obviously it's a good thing to see those former LCCC volleyball players move on to the next level. That is ultimately the end goal for any head coach out there at LCCC. But, for former head coach Austin Albers moving down to CSU Pueblo, as I like to refer to it, is LCCC Part 2 down there, as he pretty much just went through that entire roster and took every piece away from you, Keri. But something that we were talking about, at least at the barbecue the other day there at LCCC, it's almost a good thing as well, too, you being the new head coach. Well, you now have the opportunity to not so much hang your hat on what Austin recruited, but now you kind of put your name in the ringer, so to speak, and you get your own recruits to LCCC, your talent that you want to build up with LCCC Lady Golden Eagles volleyball.
Yeah, I agree with that. We have 5 returners that are coming from Austin's crew, all great. So it's really nice to know that those 5 coming back are just spot in and ready to go. But that means that I get to bring 9 of my own in, and it's exciting to know that you have that much on the roster that's ready to go with what you've recruited. So.
When you were being courted to come and be the head coach here at LCCC, did you already have you had knowledge too of what was going on with the program and who was coming back? Did you have an idea once you were named the head coach that I'd like to hit the ground running, go after A, B, C, D young lady to come to LCCC and be a part of this volleyball team?
Yeah, I to be honest, when I first was even thinking about the job, I coached club in Twin Falls, and I already had my eyes set on my setter that played for me. So it was really exciting when she agreed, Shelby, agreed to play with us, and so that was a big deal for me. But I already knew, just looking at the roster, that we were going to need the net. I needed the height, and so the biggest thing was to have to go after our middles. And that was the one that took the longest, unfortunately. So getting nervous there, but we pulled them in, and so now it's exciting to have that group.
Let's talk about the new faces coming to LCCC. Obviously, you talk about the 5 returners, but you said 9 new faces to LCCC for this season. Going back off of what Austin used to go off of kind of recruiting the local side of at least here in the state of Wyoming, if not Colorado, maybe fringe of Nebraska. But give us a little background, not to put you on spot or at least talk all 9, but just give us a preview of who will be seeing the new faces over there at the RAC this season.
For sure, we definitely have a Cheyenne girl. So Paige Blevins from Central High School is joining us this year. So that's exciting. That adds another Wyoming kid to our roster. We're bringing in a couple more from Colorado. Actually, I think about 3 from Colorado. We've got 2 returners from Utah, so we still have that group over there. And then we've got another one from Idaho. So then the newer faces, too, also involve a Brazilian, a Serbian, and an Italian. So we brought in 3 international girls this year to join our crew.
And talk about the international ladies. Again, it's easy enough to get Colorado, Utah, Wyoming to, come to LCCC. How difficult is it to get the international flavor to come play for the Lady Golden Eagles?
I have to be honest, I think I got a little lucky this year. Our first one, the Brazilian that came to us first, just so happened to be in Fort Collins playing a little bit of club volleyball, and my assistant and I were even in Denver recruiting, and we didn't even see her. And then she sent the video from that tournament, and it just turned into, wow, you need to come here, and that worked out really well. And then our Serbian coming in is actually the cousin of a girl who played for College of Southern Idaho when I was there. So that kind of worked out in a roundabout way for us. And then just with the luck of people on their side, agents and that, trying to represent them, we were able to pick up the Italian middle at the last bit. So.
Recruiting, and talking with Vince and all of the coaches at LCCC, it's like you don't get them freshmen through senior year. You have them freshman, sophomore, and they're out of there. Talk about other areas, and again, thinking back to when you were a collegiate athlete as well, do you have other areas that you'll be able to expand into to do some recruiting after this season, or is it the young ladies get in touch with you now and say, I want to be a Lady Golden Eagle? How's recruiting going for you as far as different marketplaces?
I think it's kind of flipped a little bit in terms of maybe back in the day when I played, you kind of had to do your own work and really get your name out there. And coaches were coming and finding you because they needed to figure out that one little hot spot, that small town that had that kid or something. But there's so much access to technology and social media that it's so easy for the girls to contact us, or even a lot of those sports recruiting programs to just send players our way. So it is really nice to have kind of a constant influx of 2020 players that we could be looking at right now. But we'll definitely be kind of making our rounds at some of those bigger club volleyball tournaments in the spring.
You're going to also be a pipeline too, so to speak, because you're going to be that phone call or that email from D1, D2, NIA colleges for that next go around for your sophomores.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that part of it too. When I helped out at CSI, it was really rewarding to see how much work I was doing with a lot of the middle blockers and to see them go on to some really big names. And that's exactly what I want to do here as the head coach now, and not just with middles, but send my whole team out to the highest level they can get to.
Now, obviously, the regular season has not started, but it's approaching very quickly. It's starting up at least there middle of August with LCCC being on the road, Iowa Western tournament. But, going back, obviously, we're going to get away from the Austin Albers era, but we can't be remiss to not talk about what he did for LCCC volleyball, putting it on the map, getting into national recognition. But for you, taking over this position and something we may have talked about beforehand, but now a few months in, got your team all set and squared away, is there any added pressure of where you understand of what Austin was doing with this program, where it is at least prestige at this point in time over there at LCCC? Is there any added pressure, or do you feel any pressure of where this team's kind of headed, at least in that upwards direction?
I think if there's pressure, I definitely am, putting some on myself in terms of this is my class. It's mostly made up of my kids. So that kind of says a lot in terms of what we're able to accomplish, especially right off the gate, because we do have a strong schedule to start our preseason with. So there's some pressure there, but again, and my assistant was so great, kind of reminding me the last couple of days, we're just really excited about the kids that we have coming in. And I think that we have that talent that's able to just continue building the way it should be going. If Austin was still here, I would imagine it's still growing, and that's kind of what I'm looking forward to doing as well.
We're looking forward to at least the new era under Keri Coates with LCCC women's volleyball. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was going to say, first-year head coach Keri Coates joining us, LCCC Lady Golden Eagles volleyball.
But we want to talk about, at least with that schedule, you alluded to a bit, at least, of where you'll be at in the preseason. Now, we talked with men's soccer, women's soccer, seeing a few national-ranked opponents in their preseason, but at least looking at whether it is an Iowa Western, Northeastern Junior College, Arizona Western College, South Mountain Community College, Eastern Arizona College, just to name a few in that preseason. Will LCCC women's volleyball, or some of these names that I mentioned, nationally ranked programs, kind of at least out of the gates getting tested for your Lady Golden Eagles?
Yeah, I'm excited for it because I've seen it when I was with CSI. So I know that each tournament we're going to, we're getting at least 2 top 15, if not top 10 opponents when we're playing there, and then a couple of really good builder matches to just make sure we're holding our own and proving our point as well. So I think it's a strong competition, and then right off the gate we're already playing some of our strong southern part of our Region 9 as well. So I know that that's going to be tough, and we're going to have to prove ourselves from the start.
With volleyball, no different than any other athletic event. Running, jumping, got to do a lot of that. I don't know how many of the kids have stayed up here during the summer. And, again, I don't know how much you can work with those kids, but did you put together summer programs so they come in relatively good shape when you have camp? Because I know everybody wants to go to the swimming pool or do whatever during the summer, but did you have some programs put together for these young ladies?
Yeah, I did send them some stuff. I just kind of go back to when I played and enjoyed at least having it in front of me, so it made me feel like I need to do this some of it so I can be in shape, and that's kind of all I expect of them, is to come in somewhat prepared to know it's going to be hard. And so they've been working on that, and I've had them testing themselves every few weeks and sending me some of their results just so I kind of know where they're at. And they're bought in. They've been doing the work on their own, and I really appreciate that.
Keri, we've been using the phrase, and thanks to Jason, bigger, stronger, faster. That's the kids that we're seeing with today's programs. I would think, especially with volleyball right now, if young ladies are going into the the fitness centers, they're working the legs, and I would think you're probably asking them to do a lot of thigh and calf work, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so for us, for sure, explosiveness with the jump, as well as even in the back row, that agility and being able to move quickly. So we're going to need strong legs, but strong shoulders ends up being a big part of it with all of our overhead movements, and then, of course, the core. So we're trying to really make sure they have that all-around workout, and are pushing for that jumping ability as well as the agility. And then at the same time, I kind of have them test the mile because I just want to know endurance-wise, where's your cardio level at?
Got to keep that stamina up, or at least get ready for the busy season. For again, it lasts from all the way early in August with the LCCC alumni game, which we'll talk about, and again goes all the way at least through regionals that we learned about. Will be down in Sterling, Colorado this year, so at least not too far of a drive for LCCC to compete down in the Region 9 tournament. But and again, all the way up to the national tournament if LCCC hopefully does make it back there once again. But looking at continuing on the schedule, getting past preseason, non-conference, getting into the conference, as you mentioned, Region 9 South. Who's kind of on the radar? Obviously, LCCC is going to be having a target on its back throughout Region 9 of what it's done in recent years. But from your estimate and seeing what recruiting and players going to other schools around this area, what teams kind of stick out to you of going to be some tough competition once we get into the conference schedule?
Yeah, I think just from my own experiences, I already know Western Nebraska is going to be tough no matter what. They just have a good program. It's always been that way. And I think the same has been over down in Sterling, too, with NJC. So those two were definite opponents I wanted to try to make sure we had some sort of competition with before tournaments came around. But just looking at last year's schedule and kind of the results of the matches, I felt like Otero would be a really good one for us this year as well. So we scheduled them, and you'd like to play all of them, but you just can't get that many matches in. So those three were definitely just kind of tops this year to pick out for the south part of our region.
You know, you look at volleyball as opposed to basketball, football, and you have setups or plays, so to speak, even in basketball where they will set up screens and try to work it down low, whatever. In volleyball, I guess your playbook. Tell us a little bit how you devise a playbook for these young ladies to, set. Obviously you want to make sure that the biscuit falls in their basket, so you're scoring points. But do you have like a playbook that you have prepared for these young ladies?
Yeah, I mean, we've got some, and we've definitely got our offensive calls set up in terms of, what sets they know they're going to run and for what position. A lot of volleyball philosophy falls on setting high balls to the pins or anything like that. But for my background and being my position, I like the fast stuff. I like the stuff for the middles or right sides and that. So we'll definitely have a little bit more of a flexible offense that has a lot of variety with speed.
So when you're recruiting, again, you're looking for the mid, and then you build off of that, if I'm not mistaken?
Funny enough, even though I like to make sure we have that flexible, fast offense, I do believe it's the most important role is to have that all-around six rotation outside hitter is really where you need it, because a majority of your plays don't happen with perfect passes, and so you actually need that kid who's going to keep balls in play and score points out in weird situations versus the middles who maybe need more of a perfect opportunity to score.
Now, with coaching, and again, you've been a coach, so this is nothing new to you. Is there more that you can learn? Again, you think back to when you were a collegiate athlete, coaching now, where do you go to learn more? Because we've been talking about professional ranks. You can watch the pros or the semis. How do you in the JUCO ranks get the latest on today's volleyball?
Probably the same way. You watch Olympic volleyball, you kind of see what's going on there. But I love to get my hands on any video resources I can. I've watched a lot of footage, DVD footage and that from Division I coaches, and just kind of match it with what I think in that. And I think when you get to this level, you don't really go to clinics or anything so much anymore as you do just talking back and forth with other people, or just kind of observing a match and recognizing the little things that maybe you would or wouldn't want to do. And But I also feel like you can reach outside your own sport to figure out a few different areas to learn from. How do coaches handle their training plans? How do they handle the physical fitness side of it, the discipline side of it, and that? So I think it's important to just be open-minded and really reach out. And I'm excited to, there's a lot of veteran coaches at LCCC that I'll be around, and it's just interesting to go watch some of the soccer games. I've never been exposed to that. And to try to just kind of see, well, what does soccer do? How do you guys handle some of these situations? We might play the ball with our hands and not our feet, but, similar defensive situations and tactics and that. So.
Well, unfortunately, you only have 1 year to learn from one Jim Garner, again, as he's retiring out there, but at least make the most of it this season. But, as we talk with Vince, we talk with Jim, we talk with Brian, whoever at LCCC, and we'll ask you the same question, Keri. But, as you're talking about at least watching videos at D1 or the Olympics or however, and again, outside of just volleyball to get those skills and just those fitness routines, whatever it may be, is that something that trickles down to your student athletes of where, I saw this video or I have this DVD here, team, let's watch it, sit down and take some notes off of this? Is that something that you trickle down to your team?
Sometimes I've done that with club players for sure, because they're just all so new at it, and it's nice to just let them watch the film of it. I might do it a little bit with the college players, but I think at that point you learn a lot more from yourself and just kind of seeing what you look like on film. So I'm definitely someone who's going to be asking the girls to watch footage of practice film, anything that I kind of send their way. So, we'll sit down and we'll talk about it, because I'm kind of more of a teacher style coach. I want you to learn what you're doing.
Final thought from me, Keri, and again, we've had this discussion with the basketballs and with the soccers, and now I'm going to ask you on the volleyball side. Difference between the European volleyballer to the U.S., or as you mentioned too, even the Central America,
Right.
Is there different styles, or is volleyball all the same worldwide?
What we definitely notice when international kids come over to America to play is that it's a slower game for them. Typically, they're back to what I said earlier. It's more of the higher ball. They set outside a lot. There's some quicker stuff in the middle, but most of them don't know how to run as middles away from the setter and do something fast and a little trickier. So it's definitely a faster paced offense when they come over here, and maybe even just JUCO level. Some of the Division I schools kind of run a little bit more of an international flair to what they do, but for the most part, what we find is the hurdle is trying to get them to speed up their game. They're strong, they're tall, they're powerful, but now it's about how fast can we get this ball to the ground? How fast can we approach, kind of thing.
Play a catch-up, at least with the U.S. players, so to speak, at least
get
them on that
catch-up to them.
Yeah, that's true, too. But, and again, final thought for me, for you, Keri, and a little promotion here, at least upcoming. Again, here we are, July 18th, but, it's going to be approaching very quickly, as we look in August 10th, and also to the 20th, as men and women's soccer is doing an alumni game, same with women's volleyball. You will also too have a LCCC alumni game scrimmaging, at least happening August 10th, 3 o'clock, tentative schedule as of right now, but also too August 20th, so 10 days later there at LCCC in the RAC, you will have a blue and gold scrimmage happening. That is set for tentative 5 p.m. And again, we will at least notify folks once we get closer to that, but just talk about those two upcoming scrimmages for your team.
Yeah, I think it's exciting to you finally get to put people in front of fans and just kind of show this is what we've been doing. And the 10th is going to be a little bit of a challenge for us, just because we're only starting basically that Monday, so it'll be interesting to see what we can get worked out before we even get to the 10th. But the 20th we're definitely excited for, because students are coming back, and we just really encourage them to kind of come out and see how well we are prepared for that first tournament at Iowa Western.
Keri, we want to thank you so much for joining us here. We're looking forward to your first season as head coach of the Lady Golden Eagles volleyball team, and again, wish you all the best.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Keri Coates, join us here on 1480 KRAE. We are going to take a time out. We're going to come back with more sports for you on Wyoming Sports Talk today after these words.
To celebrate Taco John's 50th anniversary, our famous Sierra chicken sandwich is back. With grilled chicken and original Sierra sauce wrapped in a warm flatbread, the Sierra chicken sandwich is better than ever. Plus, we're giving you a chance to win $50,000, free food, and other great prizes with any medium or large drink purchase. 1 in 3 cups is a winner. Enter the code on the cup to see if you've won $50,000, free food, or other great prizes. The more you play, the more you win. Ole the day at Taco John's.
Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, proven and respected when it comes to the care of your vehicle. For nearly 25 years, Cars has been there to repair and fix those minor problems to get you back on the road without major difficulties. And now, as we do more traveling at this time of year, see Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service first for your car or truck when it comes to tuning it up. An oil change, brakes, shocks, work on your air conditioning unit, and so much more. John and his crew at Cars gives your vehicle the precise detail it deserves. Respected with quality workmanship. Always bring your vehicle to Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service at 604 West Lincoln Way. Call for an appointment at 632-0498. Open Monday through Friday. Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI-FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local. Serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE. Did you know that in rural areas of Laramie County, electricity is reliable and affordable because of High West Energy? Based in Pine Bluffs, High West Energy is an electric co-op owned by the 10,000 customers we serve, and that includes F.U. Warren Air Force Base and 20 subdivisions around Cheyenne. For more than 75 years, High West has been proud to play a part in the steady growth and economic development of this region while also contributing to local nonprofits, charities, and civic organizations. Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day, at Windmill and Del Range. First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We'll work hard for your business, and we'll work just as hard to keep it. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and you need to see the new 2019 Kia Sportage today. The 2019 Kia Sportage offers numerous options and advanced driving features that help you know who is around you and how best to stay in control. Kia Sportage offers many standard features for the money. Some of the competition does not. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
Cheyenne's oldest coin dealer and supplier, the Coin Shop, is proud to serve the community since 1982. Trade or sell your gold, silver, and other precious metals. Visit with David and the knowledgeable staff for a fair and honest assessment of your valuables. Located at 510 West Lincoln Way. Call them today at 778-7196 to schedule your personal consultation.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be sunny with highs around 93 and winds out of the southwest at 15 to 20 miles per hour. If it's tonight, it'll be clear skies with lows around 58. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 93. And on Friday night, it'll be clear skies with lows around 57.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on the show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
So we bounced back and forth. We had soccer, then we went to baseball, the Hall of Fame, and threw in a little golf. We go from volleyball, and we go right back into baseball. And, yeah, kind of figured this was going to happen. I saw this on the social media side today. Yeah, the Boo Birds are out. And some are calling for Bud Black's head already now in Colorado with
Which
the Rock.
I think is a little bit stupid at this point because
I
the Rockets
know.
are still within it. They are in a tailspin, but obviously high expectations for this Rockies team where they should be postseason bound or if not competing with the Dodgers for that NL West crown. But asking for Bud Black's head at this point in time, no. I think you're a little out of line on that.
Yeah.
You should be looking more, at your hitting coach down there, your pitching coach, possibly maybe maneuvering some, players that are currently among this roster, especially on that pitching staff, may need to go. But again, Bud Black, guys got you into back-to-back playoffs, which for the franchise was never a reality. It's never happened before.
Unfortunately, in the managerial role, Nick, the manager is always going to be the scapegoat. He's never going to be the guy that guided you to the pennant. It's going to be the team. But if you're in the cellar, like the like the Rockies, then it's going to be the manager's fault. Unfortunately, that's just the role you accept.
You should probably get your GM out of anything, or at least convince your ownership to let loose of that team, if anything.
You and me have had this discussion. Not many teams are going to want to trade with the Rocks, and especially with the starting pitchers that are available right now. A lot of these guys in their contracts can balk at trades. No, I don't want to go there.
Yeah,
right?
There's no doubt about it.
So,
but also, two teams are you looking at where, hey, we got some good pieces, but win-loss record isn't that impressive. You got a high ERA. Is it just a Coors Field thing, or are you really that, not that great of a starting pitcher out there? Again, something that you gloated about last year, saying this starting rotation was going to be the next big thing.
I thought they would be. Let's take a look at it. You had Freeland, who actually got through his sophomore season okay. Mm-hmm. You had Anderson from the port side as well. He was a decent pitcher. You had Gray that was going to be the lights-out guy, and he was actually your number 3 guy. Then you had Marquez came out of nowhere.
Right now, it seems like all of that's a flash in the pan for majority of them.
Oh, yeah.
I think Gray has a good potential, but it's still something that is souring a bit this season. But that's just kind of the Rockies pitching in general of just not being all that impressive. So it is something where, yes, trading to get, especially what is crucial right now at least for the Rockies, is pitching. Well, are there teams and players that want to pitch for the Rockies at this point in time, or at least want to be a part of those trades where you do have that option to go, I'm not going to the Rockies. That's where your career goes to die. Clearly, as we're seeing right now, maybe it is a situation where we're seeing, some of those free agents, some of those moves, of last season to that bullpen to bolster it, where maybe it isn't them slowing down. Maybe it is the kind of Coors Field curse, so to speak. It is being a part of that Rockies team where pitching has not been, at least been well known for the Colorado Rockies in franchise history. There's multiple entities right now and reasons, but I think right now of what we're seeing with at least calling for Bud Black's head, a little above and beyond of what is going on. I think it's more so you need to look at your supporting staff. Also, too, may want to put a little bit blame on at least your players that you're paying big money who are not getting the job done.
Well,
and that's not even outside the pitching staff. How about also, too, your hitters who in a 4-game series mustered up only, 15 runs compared to the Giants who scored 4, or at least scored 40 in that 4-game series. They were averaging 10 per game.
Yeah, 40 to 15 was the
a Giant squad that does not hit.
Score.
Does not get a lot of runs, but also to a team that is known for scoring, known for having the big bats in your home park where it is hitter-friendly, couldn't get it done. That are averaging less than 4 runs a game.
The Rockies have outscored the Giants by 100 runs this season. See, the thing is, going back, and
that was also too, not even seeing Giants' best pitching.
Well, again, I want to dissect some of this stuff. I was not disappointed that Ottavino left. I don't, even though
he was your best piece.
Everybody thinks he's the best. I don't think he was that good. I do believe letting DJ LeMahieu sign with the Yankees was a big mistake. That has been.
Not really.
I think it was.
Not really. I really don't think so. I think of, as I'm talking about and alluding to with this Rockies team, you have a feared hitting lineup. Same with the defense. There should be no issues with this team. This team that likes to crush, likes to get the big hits.
Your weak spot. You've had McMahon over there. McMahon's okay. You've had Hampson there. I'm not. I'm trying to think who else. You've had Rogers there. He's hurt. But the thing is, LeMahieu was steady. And look, he goes over to the American League, and he hasn't missed a beat. DJ LeMahieu is a
maybe that's just again moving to the American League, but he's being a part of a Yankees squad.
He's a good second baseman. He's an everyday player, first and foremost. Second of all, he's a good hitter.
If he was on the Rockies squad, does it make a big difference? Does it matter that the Rockies would be above 500? I don't think so.
No,
I
disagree with you because he's going to be on the upper part of the order. You got to put a guy like Hampson down at number 8. Number 7, because he can't.
You already have a solid lineup. Clearly, as you just said, compared to the Giants, runs scored by the Rockies, 100-fold. Offense is not an issue, and again, defense is not that terrible. Their defense wasn't that awful. It was the pitching was costing them in that 4-game series against the Giants. But other than that, though, I think Rockies right now they're fine off without DJ LeMahieu. Yes, he would be a nice added bat, but I don't think it's a difference of where. Rockies would have swept that series or done a little bit better if they had DJ LeMahieu in that at least in that lineup. I don't think so. I think the Rockies are fine off as they are now, but what is hurting them is this inconsistency on the hitting and inconsistent pitching.
Well, you go back to yesterday's game, for example, where they battled back, and then the bullpen came in and brought gasoline to the fire again. I agree with you. But the thing is, too, this team that you put out on the field, from Arenado to Story, and you got Murphy, and you got McMahon, and you could throw Desmond Tapia out there along with Blackman, whoever's going to be playing that day, David Dahl. This has got to wear on you. This has got to wear on you that you put up 8 runs on the board, your staff.
If it wears on you, then you complain about your pitching staff because, again, you look at the Colorado Rockies right now, runs scored at this point in time, they're at 527. They're second behind, at least in the NL West, they're second behind the LA Dodgers, who have scored 536 runs at this point in time. Here's the big difference. Runs allowed for the Dodgers, they've only allowed 385. That's a run differential in the plus side for the Dodgers of 151. How about for the Rockies? 556 runs allowed. How about a negative 29? How about 556 again in total for the Colorado Rockies?
That's 171 runs more than the Dodgers are giving up. Then also, too, the Dodgers are 16 and a half.
How about that's the second worst in all of Major League Baseball behind who? How about the Baltimore Orioles, who are sitting right now at 29 and 66? They've allowed that pitching staff 583. You're the second worst team for runs allowed due to your pitching staff, whether it is starters, relievers, closers, whatever it may be. That is inexcusable. That is your Achilles heel, and that needs to be addressed.
Okay, so again, you and me, as we are playing the management role, we're not the ball players now. We're playing the management role. I'm Dick Monfort. You're Jeff Bridich.
I don't want to be either, buddy.
No, I know, but we're sitting down and we're talking about this. Who are we going to attract to Coors Field? First off, you would have to look at teams that are completely out of it, right? You're going to talk to somebody on the Marlins. Well, the Marlins will fire sale anybody. Seattle has pretty much fire saled most of their good players.
Would Seattle entertain getting rid of King Felix?
Yeah, but does Baltimore want to get rid of anybody? I don't know. Toronto?
Detroit,
Kansas City.
Yeah.
So, again, you got to sit there and you got to start looking at teams that are out of the race because, like you mentioned yesterday, and we don't need to go deep into this, but you mentioned just about every team in the National League, all right, just about every team, minus Miami, are on board for a playoff run.
Yeah, but as we learned, this is another thing as well. What came out recently, I think it came out earlier today, that the Giants front office has said, even though they are competitive, as they stand right now, again, they are tied with the Arizona Diamondbacks, or at least they're 2 games behind Arizona. But again, they're still within it in the wild card. Still have a shot at the playoffs, which is hard to believe. They're 2.5 behind Philadelphia and Milwaukee. Giants front office has said, no, we're not buying, we're not doing anything, we're still selling. So it is something where, as ridiculous as that is, and again, questioning this Giants front office that is just making, it sounds like just dumb moves year in and year out now since 2014. Right now, you got to look at towards those teams that are still fighting where they've admitted that they are selling. So we know the Giants are. Could the Rockies court over a Madison Bumgarner? It's not going to happen. No, sorry. Could you get a Will Smith? Maybe a possibility.
You can't get a Max Scherzer.
I don't think that's going to happen. Well, and again, right now,
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen now. I don't think Washington would be insane to
Washington,
sell.
Yeah, they were sellers in the
They're wild card number 1 with a game and a half lead.
But look at this, though, Nick. Again, they're taking on the Yankees, 60-33 this weekend, all right? So and they're in the Bronx. The Rockies are 46.
And they have the day off today.
Yeah, they're 46-50. If they come out of New York 46-53, which is a very good possibility.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Do you basically cash it in?
Is that where? Yeah, for Colorado, do they decide again?
Where
the Giants right now ahead of you are saying they're selling. Well, you're behind the Giants, i.e., that in turn, in my mind, would say, well, if you're worse off than the Giants and they're already selling, should the Rockies be sellers as well too? And I think at least maybe on some parts of that pitching staff, yeah. Whether it's a bullpen, whether it's a starter, I think that at least for the Rockies, as much as we thought weeks ago they were going to be serious buyers, now it is, as we flip-flop for the Giants, granted we got our answer, but for the Rockies, now it does turn of, will they buy? Will they now become sellers because of what is happening in Colorado, where they're on a 4-game losing streak, obviously. They're 2-8 of the last 10. They're a game back of the San Francisco Giants, who right now are on a 5-game winning streak and just trending upwards. But also, too, you're looking, at least for Colorado, behind the Giants, behind Arizona, St. Louis, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and Washington, who are, again, doing a little bit better off and gaining ground in the standings, where the Rockies are going backwards for whatever reason.
See, and you sit here and you look at the Rockies right now, and again, as we're sitting here trying to be management as well, I mean, even to try to unload, the problem is your bullpen is inconsistent. Davis, Shaw, McGee,
but
Chad
some
Pettis.
team out there could find value in them.
Maybe so. I'm just saying. But there you go. Your bullpen's inconsistent. Freeland, Sensatella, Marquez, Freeland, or Gray. You know, you go down that list here and you say inconsistent.
Yeah.
Do they find a home elsewhere? I don't know. You look at your hitting this season. Again, this Giants series really put some problems on batting averages. Chuck Nasty, he took a big dip. Story took a big dip. Even though Desmond hit a home run in the 9th inning the other night, we saw him whiff 4 times in the opening game of that doubleheader. He was a no-show in game 2. You sit there and you look at Arenado. His batting average took a little bit of a hit.
For the Rockies, for hitting, it is more inconsistency than it is an awful lineup. But what is awful about this team is just pitching in general. That is, again, if I had to put a blame, if we had to play the blame game for the Colorado Rockies of where they are right now, of why they're trending downwards, and where this season has been this rocky kind of ride throughout, it is pitching. You put the blame on your pitching staff.
Well, and then that's been the way since they
five allowed earned runs in the first inning of that game 1 of the doubleheader by Marquez, guy who's a little bit more consistent than that. Again, giving that up to the San Francisco Giants, that's inexcusable. You shouldn't be doing that.
Well, and again too, you know, you're allowed sometimes a pass on a bad start, but
that was an awful start.
Well, I'm just saying the thing is, here's what's going on. You know, the starters right now, aside from Gray, and he got bounced around a little bit, have been inconsistent. Again, I use that word inconsistent. But again, as we talk about coaches, you know, and throwing the blame game, you know, I go back to when Larry Bernarth was named the pitching coach for the Rockies. And, you know, they brought in some name pitchers, but, you know, they were getting bounced around as well. Bullpen was being bounced around. Darren Holmes was part of those Rockies teams, and he was one of the worst closers around. But so the thing is, if we look at coaches, and there's been more, you know, pitching coaches, oh gosh, his name's going to come to me later on. But I'm just saying, with the pitching coaches the Rockies have, they've all been, you know, the Rockies teams have always had problems pitching, whether it's starters, whether it's the bullpen. So, I mean, do you blame the pitching coach? I still have my doubts about Foster and Holmes.
Again, I think you could possibly put blame on that pitching coach down there in Colorado because, you know, look again, going back to the San Francisco Giants, what you had Dave Rigetti in there, again, that was a solid
That's
pitch
3
staff.
World Series right there. Plus,
but look at it now, where again, post Dave Rigetti, when he retired, Giants pitching staff has had
it's faltered.
It's had its inconsistencies.
But he also too, we lost, Affelt, we lost Javier Lopez, we lost Romo.
You still have talent. You still have.
I know, but I'm just saying we lost a lot of consistency in that bullpen. Again, consistency.
Okay, but again, for the Giants, though, when you lost those at least former world champions, a part of those, at least that bullpen staff, you brought in a Mark Melanson who had established at Washington, but he ran into difficulty, ran into injuries. At least for the Giants, the only positive of what they brought in was Sam Dyson for the Rangers, who was awful for the Rangers, but it's kind of revitalized, though. So it is a bit inconsistent. Madison Bumgarner's had his issues. Granted, he's ran into injuries, and maybe the injuries have played a bit of a factor of what he's been doing. But, with Samardzija, with Cueto kind of been up and down. Granted, he's dealing with injury. Derek Rodriguez, who had a good rookie year last year, but this year has been...
His sophomore season has been a little rough. Yeah. I will say Samardzija, and I might be wrong, and I like the way he threw Monday. I think he's kind of snapped himself out of it.
Mm.
And if anything, what he's doing, he might be showcasing himself to be on the move.
Right now, again,
if the Giants are making moves, if the Giants are going to make moves, Samardzija is going to be gone. I guarantee you that Bumgarner, if they're going to sell, if they're going to be sellers, those 2 starters are going to be gone. They're going to go youth. You got Beatty, you got Rodriguez,
Anderson,
three guys that are young.
Yeah.
Cueto, he might be the star of the staff next year because we're
Which
not.
Is not bad. He's still an ace.
We're not going to see much of him this season.
Again, Cueto can be an ace of a squad. He's proven that, but we'll see post his injury of where he's at, and probably not going to be where he was years ago. But we'll see if he's still got the stuff.
And you saw what Bochy did as the skipper of the Giants. Giants got this huge lead, and when Samardzija gave up the home run, he came out and got him. It was like, hey, we're leading 17-2,
but let's not get out of hand. Or
yeah,
let it get out of hand.
And you know what? It's also
because we've seen wackier things at Coors Field.
That's
with
right,
the Rockies,
but also too, you don't want a good game to fall by the wayside. Again, if anybody was watching, anybody from Major League Baseball that are contenders, phones would have been ringing to San Francisco. Hey, we need a starter. We need a right-hander. Samardzija's the guy we're looking at. How much is his current salary, or we'll pick up the rest of his salary? I don't know. I'm just saying, if the Giants are sellers.
They've come out and said that they are, but will anyone be takers? Who knows at this point, because, again, the trade market has just been quiet, and it sounds like, as people are talking about it, it might just remain quiet till trade deadline.
At least on the National League side, because there's only 3 teams that are out of it in the National League.
Again, Miami's the only real official one, but Cincinnati, who is at least right now 43-50.
I'm going to put the Mets in there, too.
Well, I'm just saying Cincinnati and the New York Mets are tied. They're 5 games back, so still have a shot, but you still have to vault over every single National League team, but they are not out of it, clearly, as the Giants have shown, as they are trending upwards after having a healthy couple of series, whether it was against Milwaukee and now against the Colorado Rockies, and can get even more healthier coming up tonight against the New York Mets at home.
And and then you got to think about this too, just going on the Giants side that we get to talk about. Well, the Giants take 3 out of 4 from the Mets. That puts them right at the Mendoza line. They're
puts
at 500.
50-50.
Yeah, so I mean, right there, you're saying, hey, these guys got a shot at it. And again, the Mets are not at full strength as they come in.
No.
They're a beaten up bunch.
Yeah, they've run into a lot of injuries. Again, with also 2 namesake here in Cheyenne with Brandon Nimmo.
Yeah. So again, this is a battered team that's coming into Oracle Park this weekend. So
but again, Colorado, at least Rocky fans, you're not out of it. It is not the end of the world. It is something
it's not panic time.
This is something you should be used to at this point in the season with the Rockies. They are inconsistent. They have been. I've been telling you this entire year where this team is at. It is not postseason bound because it has its issues on the pitching side.
And what are you going to do about it? You
have to buy, you have to find someone who's
stand
willing.
Pat, and this is what I'm afraid they're going to end up doing. They're going to have to stand pat because I don't think anybody wants to deal with them right now.
Yeah.
I really don't think there's nothing there that, unless you're going to give him one of those starters and maybe one of those young guns.
Here's a Nolan Arenado. Take him.
No.
Yeah.
Not
that would be the death of the franchise if they did that.
Not for the 10 years he signed, and Chuck Nasty still has 5 years left. All right, let's remind everybody, man,